Hello and good evening, and welcome to Your Uncle's House, episode 2. I'm flying solo today, obviously. Mad Dog was gonna join me, and that's why we postponed till such a later part of the day, but Mad Dog got called away, unfortunately, to a work emergency. So you guys got me today. We're gonna run through some stuff real quick, talk about a few articles, talk about some Assassin's Creed stuff, because it's kind of been a hot topic as of late. I did record this gameplay earlier today, this morning. For anybody who jumped in, it's a good time. I did start AC Mirage a while ago, and I decided to try out Avatar Frontiers of Pandora instead first, and I got part of the way through that, and I just got that, I call it the Far Cry fatigue, just Blue Man Far Cry to me. So, and after hearing a few people talk some good things about this, I decided to give it another try, and I've been enjoying what I've been playing so far. We'll see if I get tired of it before too long, but so far it's been fun. It's really pretty. Um, I like the way it feels when you play. The fighting is fun. It's harder than other Assassin's Creeds, which I like. So there's a lot more emphasis on stealth. So that's been fun. Um, but yeah, we got quite a bit to get into. So let's get right into the first article. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed. Um, for those who didn't see, look it up on YouTube. The world premiere of Assassin's Creed Shadows dropped. And this one looks like it's going to be set in Japan. I got a bit of an article here. I'm going to go through just a little bit here. So there's two main protagonists. The first, there's going to be kind of it looks like they're changing it up again, how they're doing this one. There's two protagonists. One's more of a stealth-based gameplay. The other one seems to be more of like a combat-based thing. Yasuke is a African samurai, historically accurate as well. He was a retainer for a lord, a daimyo is how you'd say that. He was a retainer. I've seen a lot of people on the internet trying to be like, retainers weren't samurai. Well, yeah, retainers were samurai in most cases. And there's been a few Japanese historians that have confirmed the fact that he did fight and he did carry a samurai sword with him. All the people on the internet talking about cultural appropriation and snubbing Japanese people. I mean, there's a few comments of people being mad, but I think it's such a dumb thing to be mad about. I'm really excited for this one. I think it'll be an interesting story. So we'll definitely check it out. Like I said, I'm a little nervous about it, but it is what it is. Chosen, thank you for hopping in, brother. Appreciate you. Probably be a shorter episode since it's just me. We're gonna run through some stuff, and after I get this all done, we'll get the upload started again. But definitely was enjoying my time with AC Mirage this morning. I finished Uncharted 4 last night. Chosen, I think you saw me finish it last night. It was super. I love those games. And there is such a good time. The story is really good. If you haven't played Uncharted 4, I highly recommend it. It's a PlayStation banger for sure. One you shouldn't miss. The entire Uncharted series, those games are all so fire. And honestly, they hold up pretty good. The graphics are but they still hold up pretty good. Yeah, so it was, I did start the beginning of Uncharted 3 last night as well after we finished Uncharted 4 because I was still kind of in that mood. Um, but I think we're going to be really focusing on this game, and I've been messing around with the update for Starfield. We'll talk about that for a minute as well. I've been messing around with the update for Starfield. The performance mode in the 60 frames holds up really good inside buildings, interiors. It does pretty well in space too. I noticed that when you're outside of Aquila City and outside of like New Atlantis, it's a little it drops frames. I would say I'm probably somewhere in the 40s, I would assume, when I'm out in those bigger, heavier populated areas with all of the stuff that's there to load. Probably drops into the 40s. The performance mode does bring down the resolution noticeably. It's not so bad though that I can't stand it. So I don't really personally have any issues with it. I think it's just fine. Um, and all of the new things they added for how to tweak the gameplay is really awesome. For someone who might be intimidated by a game like a Bethesda game where there's so much stuff you got to worry about, carry capacity and all of that different all those different aspects. They made it so that you can really make the game pretty cheese, but you don't get as much experience, which I do enjoy that as well. Get a little give and take. Um Starfield though. I actually, funny story. I got off last night and I was planning on going to bed right after midnight. I was gonna go to sleep. I ended up putting on a couple episodes of One Piece, and I started playing Starfield last night. Just messing around with my pirate ship, and before I knew it, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. So that game still does it to me, and that's why I try not to play it too much because it will suck my life away. It will be the only thing I play. Um, but I love that game. I can't. I'm really excited to get back into it on stream and enjoy it with everybody. I think it'll be a really good time. Um but the release date for Assassin's Creed, sorry to jump around so much. AC Shadows, the release date, let's see here. I know it's right here in my stuff. I just want to make sure I get it right. I guess it's a leak. So they're looking around the November 15th of this year is when we might get to see AC Shadows. That trailer we watched was a cinematic trailer. Didn't to me look like there was any gameplay in there. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we'll get some gameplay releases pretty soon. With that game, I would love to see some more actual gameplay. Especially for Yasuke, the African samurai. I'd love to see some samurai combat. Um, Personally, I think it's gonna be really hard for you know, for I know it's a completely different game, but playing Ghost of Tsushima, it's gonna be very hard for them to come up with the combat it's gonna be Assassin's Creed combat, and that's what I'm worried about. Is I just don't know if it's gonna feel good enough. Um, for the samurai combat, in the same way that Ghost of Tsushima did. And I mean, Ghost of Tsushima, if we're gonna be honest, is the feudal Assassin's Creed that we were waiting for, and it's better than some Assassin's Creeds in a lot of ways. So we'll just have to see. Um, Assassin's Creed though has had the thing of, the stories and the historical figures might not be historically accurate, but all the different figures and people that are in the show are in the games really make it also interesting. Like one of my favorite things ever about Assassin's Creed is in, I think it's AC2 Brotherhood, when you're like working with Leonardo da Vinci and using a bunch of his different inventions and stuff. I think that's one of the coolest parts of the game. Um but I digress. I think that there's a lot of good story and a lot of good things to be told out of feudal Japan. So we'll have to see. Well, I shouldn't say feudal Japan. There were rifles, is what it looked like to me. I could have swore I seen rifles. So this might be like, I'd have to look to see when Yasuke was alive. Um, just to clarify on what time period that would take place in. Okay, so the 1500s. So yeah, we're looking at like muskets. I'm assuming like muzzle loaders, so, with black powder. So we might have some weapons, like some guns in there, maybe a couple flintlock pistols. So that'll be really interesting. See how that plays in. I can't wait. Honestly, I think it'll be a lot of fun. And then let's jump right into some more of the bad, or some bad news here. Since we didn't have an episode last week, there's been 2 weeks of you know us not having an episode, so there's been quite a bit happening. One of the big things that happened right after our first episode, Microsoft closed 3 studios under ZeniMax, and if you remember correctly, Microsoft just spent a lot of money to pick up ZeniMax and purchase them and own them. So it was a big shock to a lot of people, and it was a shock to a lot of the people inside the studios. They weren't expecting this. Um, Arcane Austin, which Arcane Austin just came out with Redfall. It was a flop, but they were working on a big DLC for it. They'd put in updates, so a little shocking there. Um, they're going to be what they claim is, and let me read this from my article here. Microsoft is shutting down 3 studios under ZeniMax Media, namely Arcane Austin, Alpha Dog Games, and Tango Gameworks, as part of a strategic move to prioritize high impact titles that invest in Bethesda's blockbuster games. Arcane Austin, known for its innovative games, will cease development, and its previous update for Redfall will be its last, while the game and its servers will remain online for players. Alpha Dog Studios, responsible for bringing Doom to new players, will also close, and its game Mighty Doom will be discontinued on August 7th with in-game purchases disabled. Tango Gameworks, the studio behind Hi-Fi Rush, and this was a big shocker to everyone because they shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush and it was received rather well. It won some awards. It was a pretty popular game. The game will continue to be available on all of its current platforms. So if you haven't picked up Hi-Fi Rush, I definitely suggest you do. A lot of people said it was really great. I'm not big into rhythm games, but I've watched some of it. It's fighting and rhythm. It's for some people that's right up their alley. It's not my thing. Roundhouse Games will be integrated into ZeniMax Studio online studios to contribute to the Elder Scrolls Online and future projects, while some roles across Bethesda publishing and corporate teams will be eliminated to consolidate resources. So that was kind of a big shocker. A lot of people really upset about that, and I mean rightfully so. Um, they abruptly abandoned Redfall, and Arcane Austin had been working on some big updates. The game's troubled development and disastrous launch, plagued by criticism for bland missions, unengaging combat, poor AI, performance issues, and the always online requirement, led to executives acknowledging Xbox role in its weak release. Despite assurances from Bethesda that Arcane would continue supporting Redfall, the first major patch arrived over a month after launch, followed by a 5-month wait for 60 FPS support on Xbox Series X. The studio's third patch focused on adding a new sniper rifle instead of addressing highly requested features like offline mode, further frustrating fans. Microsoft's sudden announcement of the studio closure, accompanied by errors in the official email and blog post, has drawn criticism, with industry figures expressing disappointment and emphasizing the importance of supporting artists and entertainers in the entertainment industry. Now, a lot of people are chalking part of the blame up to this to Game Pass, which sucks, and I can kind of see it. With Game Pass, people are buying less games, myself included. But I'm not. It's hard for me to argue against that because Game Pass is one of those things where I've gotten to play games that I otherwise probably wouldn't have bought and found out that I liked. And yes, I should have bought them, but unfortunately, it's a little bit expensive right now to do all that stuff. So I can't always buy all the games I like. So Game Pass is a wonderful option, especially if you're just buying a console for kids. You get a Series S, or you're a casual gamer, you get a Series S, you pull that up, you want to play some Halo, you can do that. Forza, you can do that. They got a genre for everything. So it's one of those things we're gonna have to, I think the big test here is we have Hellblade coming up here very soon. Hellblade 2. So we'll have to see how that does and how it's received. I, to be honest, I don't expect there to be a whole lot of purchases, unfortunately, because it is going to be a day one Game Pass game. I think most people are going to go and play it on Game Pass, which does not shock me at all. Um, it's one of those things. Um, so hopefully we get to see some of that. I would like to see, I would like to see the games do well and Game Pass succeed. I would love to see the games sell to support those people, but also at the same time, nobody. I don't have the information, and I don't think anybody really does. I don't think it's ever been disclosed on just how much money Microsoft um Microsoft gives to the studios when they, put their game on Game Pass day and date, because I know that's going to affect the profit margins. I mean, it kind of has to, right? At least you would think so. Um, so we'll have to just see. I know there's, Redfall wasn't one of those games where there's a bunch of people clamoring about how, oh, it's no longer supported, but it's one of those things that it sucks to see, because Arcane Austin is part, Bethesda and Arcane and all those guys, they make great games. Arcane Austin unfortunately had one bad release, and I feel like they're kind of being unrightfully punished for it. So we'll have to see. I hope, if any of the devs ever listen to this, I hope you guys all land on your feet, and I hope you guys find work. It's rough out there. Let's jump right into some more bad news. EA pulling their normal shenanigans. EA plans to use advertising as a growth driver. Exploring thoughtful implementations. Thoughtful. Let me put that in quotations. Thoughtful. Implementations within game experiences and leveraging community power. EA CEO Andrew Wilson discussed the company's plans to harness the power of its game communities and utilize advertising as a meaningful driver of growth during a recent financial report. Acknowledging the billions of hours spent on EA's games, Wilson sees advertising as an opportunity for growth, but emphasizes the need for careful consideration and thoughtful implementation to ensure positive player experience. Wilson highlighted the company's ongoing efforts to explore innovative ways to integrate advertising within game experiences and leverage the power of community beyond traditional gaming boundaries. This includes the establishment of internal teams dedicated to developing thoughtful advertising implementations and investigating advertising's potential as a growth driver in community-based experiences. In the same shareholder call, EA also announced the information of its largest Battlefield team in franchise history, bringing together Motive, DICE, Criterion, and Ripple Effect to create a Battlefield universe spanning connected multiplayer and single-player experiences armed with cutting-edge Frostbite technology and compelling storytelling. Let's see, what's up, brother? Welcome to episode 2 of Your Uncle's House. Some things have changed, my friend. I don't know if I got the chance to tell you, but we're on camera now. My other host, Mad Dog, he couldn't make it. He got some work emergencies, so we just big chilling. But essentially, EA is talking about putting ads in their games. Now, I don't know about you guys, but EA has already got quite a bit of bad blood floating around. And I just don't understand why they're trying to put the nail in the coffin. Battlefield 2042 had a shit launch. I played the shit out of it, and I still touch it. I still play it every once in a while. I still fuck around with it. The game has come a long way from where it started. Should it have released in that? Released in that? No, it shouldn't have. And it seems like more and more we're getting this, where games are releasing in these broken states, and it sucks. But also at the same time, all you can do is vote with your wallet. So, you got to buy what you support. That's the only way you can do that. But I will tell you personally, as a Battlefield fan, I'm a sucker for Battlefield games. It does make me kind of excited that they're bringing all of those internal studios together for a Battlefield game, because I could get down on a good Battlefield game. 2042 was disappointing, and I'm tired of World War I and World War II. Battlefield 4 is the GOAT. Excuse me. Battlefield 4 is the GOAT and will always be the GOAT. So it'd be nice to have that come back and take its rightful place as the throne, or on the throne, on the top. You know what I mean? But we'll just have to wait and see. Let's see. I jumped around quite a bit. Okay. One of the last big things I want to talk about. Oh shit! I will take that. Thank you, Lutsy. Appreciate that, dude. Yeah, the One Piece, son. I've been watching it again. I started over. I'm on episode 730 something. I didn't really like start over from the beginning. I like started over from the mids. So, because I'm waiting for more episodes. I've been going hard in that shit. The next thing I want to talk about was something that was a little bit surprising, kind of made me giggle, but also makes me worried about the future of GTA 6. So just recently, Take Two had a like a conference, uh, a report earnings call essentially. Um, for quarter 4, Take Two, mind you, the people who are behind Rockstar and behind Grand Theft Auto, they reported a $2.9 billion loss for the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2024, despite the highly anticipated Grand Theft Auto 6 being slated for fall 2025. Now, I'm not a genius and I'm not sure exactly how all of that works and where that money is being spent, but I have a good idea on where it was spent. I have a really good idea. And I think it was spent on GTA 6. And that, if they spent even close to $2.9 billion on that game, I mean, what kind of game are we looking at? And also, what are we looking at here for a price point for a buy-in? That's another thing that was brought up about Assassin's Creed Shadows, the new one. You have the base game version, your $70, $69.99, which is sadly the new normal for games. You have that, and then you have the next step up is $110. $50 difference. The next step up is 110, and it's their special edition, and then the ultimate's 130. 130. So, if we're, I would not be surprised at all. We're looking at, I bet you, at least $100 for just a buy-in to GTA 6, and I would not be surprised. Of course, then again, I bet Rockstar knows, and I'd be willing to put money on this. I bet Rockstar knows that that game has the name brand and the name brand power, the to sell gangbusters, and people are gonna buy it. Grand Theft Auto 6 will be a console seller. Be it Xbox or PlayStation 5, people will upgrade to a new console to get the new Grand Theft Auto. Or the PC guys are going to wait for PC. Now, there is no news, and we haven't seen any news about how the PC launch is going to go. Um, I would expect it to be faster than what there was with GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, only because the modded community for GTA 5 is so large, and I bet you there'd be so many people who are itching to get into that. But typically it takes about a year, um, which I hate seeing for the PC players. I think it's stupid, but especially because these games are made on PCs, let's be real here. I'm a console gamer by choice. Most of the people I play games with and my friends and stuff know that. I get a lot of shit for it, but that's fine. I'm a console gamer by choice. It's where I like to play my games. Um, but I don't think that, I don't understand why the PC has to wait for an entire year. I guess there's probably some optimizations to do and some changes, but I just, if you're making it on a PC, why aren't you guys just releasing it for PC day one? And maybe they will this time. It would be really nice to see, and I would really like that if they did that, because I think it's deserved. I think those guys definitely deserve that. All the PC players. Um, and then let's talk a little bit about predecessor. We got a big update coming up here pretty quick for Pred. I have been playing it off and on, still, and I always do. We have a new character coming up as well. A new off lane slash jungle character, Aurora. Let me pull this up real quick. Because I was just reading some of it and I did not save the article like a dumbass. Okay, so that's the one. Okay, where's the Let me pull up in my, see if I can find it in the other Discord. Unfortunately, I got too many different channels here going, and there's all these different links. So I'm trying to figure out where I was just reading that. Yeah, we had this patch. Oh wait, no, that's Shinbi, isn't it? Well, I'm not going to get into specifics on names, but I will talk about a couple things I do know. I do know that this next coming update is supposed to bring in um a new character, Aurora. I think that's the next coming one. I'm pretty sure, or unless it's a little bit farther away, which it could very well be. But I know that one of the next big things on the updates coming is 20 new items, and they're adding a sixth item slot, which is big news. So that's gonna change some builds. At least for me, we're gonna have the opportunity to put 5 items or 6 items instead of 5 items. So that might change some things up a little bit, especially in the order in which I do stuff. Because if you use Oblivion Crown and Predecessor, that goes off of what you have already. So it's best to try to get Oblivion Crown near the end and just one of your last items because it multiplies off of what you have, at least from what I remember reading. So hopefully we're gonna get that going soon. I'd like to see that soon. That's why I was trying to find the article I was reading, because I would like to be able to talk about it. There was the Aurora reveal trailer. The Ice Queen. She's going to be there in version 0.018, and Brawl mode is coming May 21st. So that's coming up soon. Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything else that's kind of important here. Oh, legendary skin for Bellica. Okay. And there's a couple trailers if you're. Yeah, the brawl. Yeah, the brawl is going to be really cool. I think it's going to be just like Smite Arena. So I'm pretty stoked for that as well, because it'll just be 5v5, essentially team deathmatch. So that should be a good time. Um I I've been really enjoying having Predecessor, or I should say, I guess if you want to call it Paragon, but I mean it's almost the same thing. Um and Still been just getting it on with the Drongos, but it's that game is I have good games, you have bad games, but that's just a MOBA, I think. That's how I used to feel every time I'd play League. Every once in a while I'd get a really good match in, and then I'd just get fucking stilly stomped. So and I think League is more toxic. Like, yeah, MOBAs are all toxic, but I think League is more toxic. Um but still, you have quite a few assholes in Predecessor. People who don't get the role they want, so they throw the whole game. That's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Is I'd like to, I wish Predecessor would make a role lock, so once you choose something, you can't get out of it, and that's what it is. And that's or role queue. You queue in for a game as a specific role. It would just make everything so much easier. It might take longer to find games, but I would give that up for having games where people aren't throwing shit all the time. Super annoying. And lately, excuse me, lately most of the time I'm playing with full squad anyway. So that's been pretty nice. Let's go back to this. Let's see, pull up this article again. Oh yeah, I think I went through everything. Oh, look at that. I did go through everything. All right. And then the other thing, our first episode was uploaded to YouTube on the 5th, and we had talked about this is just a follow-up. We talked about how the Helldivers 2 studio was planning on making people sign up for a PSN on their Steam accounts. So you'd have to sign into a PSN to continue to play Helldivers 2. And enough people on Steam gave that game bad reviews and asked for refunds that PlayStation walked it back, and they were no longer making people sign up for PSNs for Helldivers. They are indeed making you sign up for a PSN for Ghost of Tsushima. Now, Ghost of Tsushima being on Steam, awesome. Love that. But since you have to sign up for a PSN, that game is no longer available in 70 countries. 70 countries. If I remember the number correctly, I believe it's 70. Um uh it might even be more. Let me double check that. Oh, it is actually quite a bit more. It's 118 countries. PlayStation Network is unavailable in 118 countries. It's currently unavailable in more countries than it is available. And so I think it's kind of a shit move on Sony's part to require that game to have a PSN. I think they could have found a workaround and you could have sold way more of that game. That's crazy that 118, you can't ignore the power that Steam has. Everybody has Steam, especially if you're gaming. So many more people are gaming on PC today than console. And so to ignore that many countries, to just cut yourself on the foot like that with that many countries, I can't fathom that. I think that's a dumb move personally, but I'm not a multi-million dollar company, so I honestly don't know all that much. As Alex Jones says, I'm kind of stupid. I'm kind of retarded. All right, that's what he said. I'm kind of retarded. Um, Alex Jones that clip, but he I just don't think I just don't think that's a smart move. I wouldn't have made that move. Um, I think that I think that they're going to make a huge mistake. And I think that's the same reason why so many people on Steam were screaming about it. And I think that's, yeah, exactly. 118 countries can now not buy your game because of that. I think that's pretty stupid. We'll just have to see how that turns out. I mean, from what I'm seeing on Twitter, there's a ton of people who are playing Ghost of Tsushima, and most of them are content creators from like the UK and America, PC content guys. And they are gonna be doing their thing, so they're playing the game, they're loving it at a higher frame rate. I don't understand why that type of shit has to happen, but it is what it is. Sony probably knows something we don't, and maybe they're gonna change it in the future, but I doubt it. But besides that, I just got a little notification on my PC that unfortunately I ran out of disk space um to record the pod. Um, and I'm pretty much done with the articles anyway. So we're gonna call this a short episode today. I will be getting this uploaded as soon as I can. I have to do some workaround stuff and delete some stuff. So I appreciate those who hung out with me for a little bit. I don't think I'll be streaming again tonight. I got some dishes I gotta do and a couple other things, so I don't think I'll be back on tonight. But if I do, just keep an eye out for that noti. We'll probably hop back on some Assassin's Creed here. Watching this gameplay has made me really want to continue playing it. So, um, it was a good time. So again, I appreciate it. Hopefully next time Mad Dog will be here. Like I said, just work emergency, so I'm just filling in. Yeah. I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday. We should see you guys next Sunday. Just depends on what I got going on. Back on the work again. My dad was gone this weekend, but I will be back to building my grandma's house again next weekend, so we'll see how much time I got. Um, Again, I appreciate the love and support. Lutzy, Chosen, appreciate you guys big time. Um, I hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday evening. Peace.